All right, welcome, head coach Bridget Orchard from Villanova. We'll open it up for questions here. If you can please use the raise hand function. If you open the participants window, you should have the option at the bottom to raise your hand. Questions for Coach. First one, Sean Fagan, Arizona Daily Wildcat.
Thanks for being here, Coach. Congratulations. A lot of firsts for your team this year. If I could first start off with that Big East title. I'm just wondering, what did it mean to you to win that title with this group of players that you have?
It was awesome. It was one of the greatest feelings, better than I even expected it. Again, being a COVID year, just being happy to be out here, being able to play, and then winning in the way that they won. It was just so cool. I was just so proud of everything that they've been through and what they've done, and to come out with a championship with this team. And the culture that they have was just really special.
And then the stellar play that you had in the championship game probably was what led to your first NCAA bid into the tournament. So I'm just wondering, was it at all sort of a bit like overwhelming in a good way, knowing that won your first Big East title and then going to your first tournament as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I really do. I think I just kind of sat back and kind of watched them take over, and just, again, seeing their faces and their joy, and even able to see the videos afterwards, and just how much passion every single person on the team had. And they all bought in, and they were just so excited, and so excited about being, like you said, history of the program, your first Big East title. Now you're going to the NCAA tournament. We only had one player that's ever been here before. So I think all of this newness to them is just super exciting. And then obviously to be out here at the University of Arizona and just kind of taking in all the sites and the facilities, it's just really cool opportunity. And I'm so lucky that, to be here to coach them, and also these girls to have this experience is really awesome.
And then last question for you, Coach. As I was looking up lots of statistics about the players, your Paige, I was blown away by how just like a generational talent that she is, with not only as a hitter but as a pitcher. I'm just wondering, could you speak a little bit just about like how great of a player she is and like what she contributes to your team?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Paige is Paige. You guys get a chance to talk to her in a minute here, and she's just incredible. I mean, her worth ethic. I can't say enough about what she does, on and off the field. But she's the type of kid. I always say all the accolades she gets are so well deserved because of the time and effort she puts in. She's willing to do what other people really aren't. Is coming early, staying late, and as you said, being a pitcher and a hitter. She's got to find time to get all the pitching in, get all her hitting in. She plays defense, so she'll play first base, she'll play outfield, so she's doing infield, outfield, pitching, hitting, and really kind of does it all for us. And on top of that, obviously being a student athlete and being a great teammate and a role model and a leader. I mean, she really is one of those kids that you don't really have a chance to coach to in a lifetime, and I've been lucky enough to have her for a lot of years, and she's coming back next year. So it's super exciting.
Next up, Mike Jensen.
Is this program ahead of schedule, on schedule from when you took over?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to say that, it's on schedule. I mean, I think I took the job, kind of thinking we're going to win right away. But that's kind of my mentality. I didn't know that it was going to happen this fast, honestly. But I definitely think, right when we took over in the 19th season, our team was really talented and driven, and they just needed that extra push. They needed that confidence. They really needed to believe in themselves. And I think, after the 2020 season getting cut short, this season we started off kind of shaky with the COVID and not really having a fall season, and then bringing it all together. And throughout this whole season so far, you've really seen the maturity and the growth, and just this team coming together and just having each other's back. Like I said, for me, it's just so much fun to kind of sit back this last couple months, just watch them do their thing, especially at the Big East tournament, and kind of sat back, watch them take over. Our senior leadership was just huge. They all had pivotal points in that game, big plays, big hits, and they were picking each other up left and right. I think that's when we kind of knew, like, hey, we got a chance to win this thing, because they're really in it for the right reasons, and they weren't going to take a loss.
Home runs, is that a philosophical thing? Were Fordham players hitting home runs, or
Yeah,
it seems like a smart thing to teach,
all
obviously.
Credit goes to all the credit's going to go to our hitting coach, Gabby Ludi, who played for me at Fordham. Then she was my assistant at Fordham, and she came with me here over to Villanova as our hitting coach, and that's what she does. I mean, she's awesome with creating these hitters, and she works them individually, and it definitely is a philosophy. We're big on, elevating the ball, hitting it out of the park. We're not into ground balls. We're not really fast, so it doesn't work great for us. So anything that leaves the yard is really good, and I think they work at it. And the same thing, the girls work really hard to have their power numbers up there.
And last thing, a Paige question. With your Binghamton roots, how early did you start to hear her name, and did you first recruit her to Fordham as a position player?
Yeah, so we've known Paige since she was about 10 years old. She used to come to our Fordham games. We have pictures of her in her Fordham gear and her visor, and she was probably 9 or 10 years old. She was good friends with Gabby Ludi, my assistant coach, who played at the time. So she was actually coming to watch Gabby Ludi play at Fordham. And then obviously the time goes by, and then, we're looking 5, 6 years later, we're recruiting her to be a player at Fordham. And again, we were recruiting her to pitch, to hit, to kind of do it all. No idea that she was going to be as good as she is. Obviously, she just had a great freshman year there, transferred over with us here, and has just dominated ever since. But yeah, she's been kind of with us for the long run. She's like family to us.
Thank you.
Eric Lopez, go ahead.
Coach, good to talk to you again. How
Uh,
does how does it feel to lead your alma mater to the NCAA tournament? That was the big reason why you left Fordham to come to Villanova, because it's your alma mater. How does it feel to finally, take your alma mater to the NCAA tournament? Any more special because of that?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I think it's great. I mean, I think I've said it before, coming back home, technically, my husband went to Villanova, I went to Villanova, we come back here, and to even the coach before me, Maria DiBernardi, which just has a huge impact on my life. And they were all so proud of us and they were so excited. And that was obviously it was great to win, but then to come home and to have them all supporting us and texting us and emailing us, and the pride we saw in them at selection show, they all came out from, our baseball coaches to our basketball coaches to our field hockey. They were all so proud of us, representing Villanova. So it meant so much more to me that it meant a lot to the community. And obviously me being part of it, the girls that I played with back in the 90s were so excited. We had a couple of them actually drive out to Yukon to be there live for the game. So for them to do that, I think was cool. We have a bunch of them coming out here to Arizona to support us. So I think they're just super proud and ready for us to get after it.
Jay Wright give you any wisdom, any words there?
The one thing he called us right after, he's been following us. He was up at the Mohegan Sun, obviously he's getting inducted to the Hall of Fame, and he's watching softball. So it was pretty cool. But he said to me, every contender, every champion was always a contender. So it was kind of cool. Like he's been rooting for us, and I think he saw it coming. He's been out to some games. So it's been awesome to have him following the team. And obviously been great to us to look up to Hall of Fame coach and his program and his team. So I think it's great for us to have that.
Big East tournament, you had to come out of the losers bracket in dramatic way to win that Big East championship and get that automatic bid. Is that something that could help your team here this weekend? Because, this program hasn't been to the NCAA tournament. They haven't tasted that pressure of postseason. Does that give you confidence for these players and help you here for these regionals?
I think so. I really do. I mean, I would have loved to just win 1-1-1 and not have to go through all that. But after it's said and done, I do believe that it'll help us a little bit. I think the girls, they battled through it. They had the adversity and they got knocked down. They had to get back up. But I really feel like we got knocked down a bunch of times when we were out there, and we kept coming back. So I think that will help them coming into this, knowing that, hey, you know what? We're not done yet and we can keep playing. And they got a lot of grit and determination. And I think we have an uphill battle right now, but I think that they'll be ready for it. They're a little tired, a little sore, but they're excited. And I think they're really psyched to be here.
You get the 3 seed. The thoughts on that? Was that what you kind of reaction there when you got the 3 seed? And of course you get Ole Miss. What stands out about Ole Miss?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to you about it, and you called it early. You called it first. You're ahead of the game there, Eric. But so I had a little heads up from some of you guys, knowing that we might be a 3 seed, which is great. Obviously, coming in, you'd much rather play the 2 and the 3 than have to go out here and face Arizona day one out on their home field with their home fans. So I think that's definitely helped us to be the 2 and the 3 as opposed to a 4. And also, it's pride in our program that hey, it's our first time getting here, and we also came in and we're shot at possibly even if we didn't win the tournament, we might have had an at-large. Like we played well, we had a good RPI, we played good throughout the season. That was a lot of our girls. That was their first time watching a selection show, so it was pretty cool for me. I'm like, you guys have seen this, you've done this, and they're like, no, we've never watched. They haven't done it before, other than Paige and a few of the other ones have. But so for them, a lot of this is their first, like doing a selection show first, championship first, regional first. So it's pretty cool, and it's just awesome to be part of it.
And then Ole Miss, your thoughts on them playing here and what stands out about Coach Trax on her team?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with them, they got the depth, they got pitchers, they're going to be able to throw a bunch of different looks at us. Obviously, being in the SEC, we're able to watch a lot of their games on TV. So we were able to watch them a lot. They played UConn, who was in our conference, obviously. So we're able to get a little bit from them that was helpful. And we're just going to have to play Villanova softball, play hard. My hope is don't get too high, get too low, and just come out, ready to get after it. But obviously, they're going to be anybody that's here is going to be one of the best teams in the country, but especially coming out of the SEC and the grueling schedule that they play day in and day out. We're just going to have to match that.
Ryan Kellepier, you're up.
There's going to be 100% fan capacity at this regional. I'm just curious how exciting that is for you and your players.
It's awesome. I don't think they know it yet. I don't think they know how big it's going to be, but I remember one of my first regionals as a coach. We were out at Oregon, and it was like the field was like shaking. There were so many people, and it was just such a cool experience. And I just can't wait for our girls. Hopefully, they don't get overwhelmed by it, but I think they're going to love it. Like I said, they haven't experienced this. They haven't played this type of ball in this type of stadium with these type of fans, and I think for them, and even for the fans to kind of see them play is going to be huge. And when they opened that up, I think it was yesterday. I think everybody's really excited. We do have a good group of people coming here with us that obviously we're coming across the country, but a few California girls, so they got their families going to come in. We have a bunch of alumni coming in that are West Coast. So I'm excited about it.
How does Hillenbrand Stadium compare to a lot of the venues that you've played in?
It's so nice. We haven't practiced in it yet. Our practice time is coming up here next. But we came out here a few years ago with my previous team before it was actually renovated, and it was gorgeous then. So I'm excited to see the renovations, and I just know it's going to be first class. Obviously, Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame program. I mean, a lot of these girls. I know I grew up kind of watching Arizona, so it's just awesome to be here.
So at the same time, what's it like to coach? You might have to coach against Mike Andrea. What do you think about that?
I'm excited about it. We're all about opportunities here. We talked to the team about it. This is an opportunity. This is an advantage. And so for me, just to be on the same field with him, be able to coach a game next to him is just for me a great opportunity. And we look at it as a huge thing for our program.
All right. Any other questions for Coach? All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Chloe, thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
If you have questions for Chloe, please raise your hand and we'll call on you. Eric Lopez, go ahead.
What was it like Sunday night? I know you knew you were in the tournament, but when you found out you were going to Tucson at Hildebrand, one of the most famous stadiums in college softball.
It was so exciting. I'm from California, so coming to the West Coast is just like super fun for me. My family's going to be able to come and watch me play, and it was just being there with the team. And after everything we've been through and conquered this season, it was an amazing feeling.
Take me back to that Big East tournament. You came out of that loser's bracket and made an incredible run to win that championship. You were a big part of that with the offensive explosion. Just take me through that from a player standpoint. How were you all able to overcome after dropping that first game of the tournament?
So it was a big blow. I think a lot of us were disappointed. We fought really hard to get to where we are, especially with going through all of the COVID procedures and everything, like the setbacks from last year. So I think losing in a way, we all hate losing, don't get me wrong, but I think it was a good thing because it really forced us to like reevaluate, and it forced other people to step up. Like everyone throughout the lineup stepped up, whether it was defense, offense. We really all came together as a team and pushed hard because we set out for one goal and we achieved that goal.
Tell me about Paige, what she like as a teammate. Obviously she's such a splendid two-way player, but what makes her such a great teammate?
She fights hard. She fights really, really hard. I mean, I can't even tell you. I think she threw over like 400 pitches. That's just like a true team player right there. She digs deep. Like when she's getting tired, she digs somewhere and finds it to come out and just keep pushing through, and really, she's a true team player.
Describe playing for Coach Orchard.
It's amazing. I love winning, and she just has that winning mentality. She pushes and brings the best out of every player. She even when you're down, she'll come up to you and be like, I know you've had a rough couple of bats. I know you're not feeling strong, whatever, but you need to push that aside and you need to dig deep and find it to come up and come through this at bat. And she's just always there for you. She's a great coach. I love playing for her.
Ryan Kellepier.
Looking at the stat sheet of your team, it looks like you guys are good in a lot of things. What would you say your strengths are as a team?
I would say we find a way to come through almost every game in the 6th and 7th inning. Whether we've been struggling throughout, we make those adjustments, and offensively, we find a way to score those runs, whether that be coming up with the big hits, the singles, the doubles, whatever. We are extremely strong offensively, but I think these last 2 years, even though our season got cut short last year, our defense has just stepped up and has been a huge part of our team, especially the outfield, like sit in the outfield, making some amazing like diving plays, just saving us sometimes. Like it's been amazing to see how much we've stepped up, not just offensively, but also defensively.
And there's going to be 100% fan capacity at this regional. I'm just curious as a player what you think about that.
I think it's awesome. I'm so excited. I think it's sometimes difficult to get up to play, like especially when you've been playing for so long and you don't see anybody there, like from travel ball, even though we didn't have a full season, or we did have a half season last year, like when people were there, like it was so much fun playing in front of everyone, or like even from before, since I'm only a sophomore, like that experience. And then having to come this year and only seeing like a couple people in the stands, like now coming to this, like I think it's just going to be an amazing experience.
And your team hits a lot of home runs. So what do you think about playing at Hillenbrand, where the air's pretty thin, it's warm? This is a good place to hit the ball out of the park.
It's exciting. I mean, we have some advantages over here. Like you said, we do come up with a long ball when we need it a lot of the times. So I think that's going to really play into being an advantage for us.
I mean, the SEC had six of the top, or five or six of the top 8 seeds. What do you think about a chance to play an SEC team in this regional and kind of see how your team stacks up against them?
I think it's going to be a challenge, but I think anybody can win on any given day. Our team has fought hard. We've worked hard. We continue to work hard. It's going to be like a test to see like how much our hard work has paid off.
And you've been a very consistent hitter throughout your career. How would you describe your approach at the plate and what your strengths are?
I would say my strength is just I always try to think at the plate like coming up with the singles and the doubles, and the home runs will come when they need to come. You know, if you have good mechanics, you have a good head on your shoulders, you stay calm throughout your at bat and you look for the right pitches, like it's those long balls are going to come, those big hits when you need to come through are going to come. I think just having a good approach and having a good mentality as soon as you step in the box is a huge part of the game. Like you always have to be thinking yes, yes, no, yes, 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 like throughout your bats, like not just guessing where the pitches are, but really reading and getting your timing down when it starts when you're on deck too, like, and even in the dugout, just watching the pitcher, watching her warm up. I think those are all huge parts of at bats.
And
Ryan, sorry, I gotta interrupt you. I gotta keep it going here a little bit. Chloe, thanks for the time. We appreciate it and good luck this weekend.
Thank you guys.
Paige, thanks for joining us. We'll open it up for questions here from the media. Kim Doss, go ahead.
So Paige, when you came over to Villanova, what did you have envisioned for your career and for the program?
Yeah, I think just helping Coach Orchard rebuild the program and kind of get to the spot we're in now, I think was really important, is just giving my teammates the opportunity to kind of have that experience that I had my freshman year when we went to LSU at Fordham in the regional tournament. So I think that was something that we envisioned.
Mike Jensen, go ahead.
Paige, do you get nervous out there? What makes you nervous?
I try not to get nervous. I think I kind of have that mentality out there where I don't think about it too much. I kind of, not that I'm thinking about other things, just kind of staying true to myself. I like to sing songs in my head a lot, pitching and hitting. So that's one of my main things that I do, just to kind of stay calm, cool, and collected. I think my catcher, Allie Jones, does a really good job with that. She can tell when I overthink and I get nervous. So she comes out there almost immediately, has me take a deep breath. So good nerves before the game, but I definitely don't feel them during the game.
You forced me to ask the follow-up. What songs?
It changes every now and then. Lately it's been like random TikTok songs that come to my head, but I don't have really, it's in the heat of the moment. I don't have a
No
favorite
go-to.
song. Yeah, I listen to all types of music. I'm the type of girl that listens to like pop to rap to country in the car. So
And in all seriousness, were there keys early in your career to kind of flipping the switch from pitching to hitting and vice versa?
no, I think I'm competitive enough where I never really wanted one to get better than the other. So I think just
working hard on both of them and making sure one consistently didn't outshine the other. Whether that happens every game or not, it's out of not out of my control, but I try to kind of keep them consistently the same. And I knew that that was going to practice early, going to practice late. So kind of just being a really good hitter and a really good pitcher and not letting one outshine the other.
Thank you.
Eric Lopez, go ahead.
Did you have a favorite athlete or softball player growing up that you kind of inspired you kind of to play sports and play softball?
Oh man, I watched all of them. Growing up, I was a slapper before I was a power hitter. So I was a right-handed power hitter and left-handed slapper when I was like 8 years old. I switched lefty in 8th grade. So I really focused on like Natasha Watley and stuff. Obviously, if you look at me now, that would have surprised you. Um, but honestly, right before leading up to college, I looked up to Rachel Garcia, who I actually faced. That was the first ever college pitcher I faced in college my freshman year at Fordham. So that was pretty surreal. So definitely a lot of different people. When I was younger, it was the slappers, which was funny.
Describe Coach Orchard. What was it about her that drew you to want to play for her and follow her to Villanova and follow her dream of trying to get her alma mater to the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, she just likes to win, man. And that's her big thing is if you're doing all the right things and if you're winning, and she's the best person to push you towards winning. And I think that was really big for me. And through the recruiting process, just the feeling of being wanted and almost nagged, like, oh, are you coming here? Are you coming here? So that was big for me. And just the relationship I built with her was a really big factor in that.
Big East tournament, you had to come out of the losers bracket. You threw and you hit almost every game. The tired is not in your vocabulary, is it?
Oh no, there's no time to complain about being tired. That would make you even more tired. So, yeah, it was surreal. I knew once we lost that first game, we weren't losing another one. So that was the long haul. We all expected that.
Ryan Kellepier, go ahead.
There's going to be 100% fan capacity at this regional. I'm just curious as players what you think about that.
I think it's really exciting. Especially with the past crazy year that it's been, just being able to play in front of all the fans. It's something, especially in the preseason, where we didn't really get to play in the preseason. Obviously, there was no fans. 100% capacity in the preseason, anyways, if we did play. But to finally kind of it's crazy. It's true. You really do use the momentum of the fans behind you when you're playing in that game, and it really does push you to do your best. So I'm really excited to play out here in front of all their fans and have the stadium full. I think that really emphasizes the experience as well. I kind of would have been bummed. LSU was 100% capacity, obviously, my freshman year when we played. So for my teammates not to be able to experience that, whether it's heckling or good, happy cheers, it's all the same experience. It's a lot of fun.
And then what do you think about playing an SEC team in your first game at this regional? A lot of people regard that as the best conference in college softball.
Yeah, I think I'm really excited. We're all really excited that it's kind of putting our name on the map and just knowing that we can step on the field with Ole Miss and play our best and hopefully take that game one from them. I think that would really put us on the map, not just, oh, like they came out of the losers bracket, Big East, this is their first appearance here. It's just an opportunity to make our name bigger with softball.
All right, Paige, I think that's it. Thank you and good luck this week.
Yeah, thank you.